subscribe, and hit the bell.
Count my name at right side, get my keto. Niggas been really messy, I be getting my bread, I'm hitting them keynotes. Know that I really be rapping real fast, FTS, I'm home like keynote. Know that I be getting my massage, they see that shit real keto. That show they a freak, that show they a freak though. Niggas be tape, they see I'm a keep though. Niggas real cold outside of Miami, it's like it's hot, these getting a freak though. Getting a heat stroke, see I'm coming real fast, I'm real beat though. They go pass to the right, I'm plant-based, I'm supposed to meat though.
That's good.
So what you got?
What you want me to do to rap? I don't do that.
I saw you in the studio, man.
Stop it! No, that was very fake and scripted. So yes,
it was so good.
Don't believe everything you see on social media.
Just spit the bars.
I am not. Stop it! We're not going to be doing that. You know what? I'm gonna
You got
leave.
that thing on you.
Yeah. I'm not doing that. We're gonna leave the rapping part to the people who are good at it.
Aye. Okay. Hey, what's better than not rapping? He's standing on business though.
Exactly.
He knows what he's good at. He knows what,
Yeah.
Not everything you see on the internet is real.
Listen, exactly. And some people felt like I'm coming for their job when I shared that little snippet. They were like, "Oh, so now you make music?" I was like, "Don't you worry, sweetheart. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
You'll be fine. I'm not coming for your job."
But that's a flex. It's a flex to threaten people, and like even if you're just not even trying, they're threatening. Like, oh,
It was supposed to be funny. I do a lot of comedy content, so it was supposed to be funny.
when's the song dropping, man?
Well, people were like, can I find this on Apple Music? I was like, well, that's a stretch. But we'll see. You never know. Maybe. Enough people are asking for it, so it might happen.
Yeah. Well, guys and girls, don't hold your breath. But
Yeah.
welcome back to the TreeHouse Show. We have today a very amazing guest. We have somebody whose name is what I have in the fruit bowl, Kale. KaleMyName. And I'm super energized to see where this conversation takes us. I have fallen in love with his content over the past couple weeks, and I have become an avid fan, and I see all his reels and they make me laugh. And then I find out these things about him later on, that he's vegan, how he supports animals, and how he supports, just cares for people. And as an immigrant, as somebody myself who has experienced a lot of seeing the worst of the world, seeing that there's still hope, it makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. So I'm super excited to share this couch with this man today. And yeah, we're going to get right into it.
Perfect. Thank you for having me. I want to first super clarify that the KaleMyName is the name of my business.
Yes.
My real name is Nemanja Golubovic, but you can call me or Kale if you want to. I'm not bothered by it at all. But you can also call me Nieman. Most people just call me Nieman.
Nieman.
And thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Before we start, I guess you already said your name. Fun fact, age, and relationship status.
So I am married. Let's start with that.
Take it.
It's the multiple rings, multiple Cartiers.
Multiple partners?
No, multiple Cartiers. I said.
Okay, okay.
The brand of the jewelry I'm wearing. Only one partner, a husband. I am a gay man, so I'm married to a man. I am 36 years old, I believe. I needed a second for that because I really don't think of it at all. Like, who cares? It's just, and then my real name is Nemanja Golubovic.
Do you have that thing on you?
I got a thing on me.
Yeah?
I got a thing on me.
Yeah. Sometimes, it sucks that you have to have that thing on you. Because don't you miss the days when you didn't need to have that thing on you?
Well, you know what? I was never aware that I needed it to have a thing on me. I just live safely. I told you I've been places where people were worried for my safety more than I was myself. Like, I never see it that way. I also lived in Mexico as somebody who's did not grow up there, didn't know anything about it. I was finishing my college over there, and we were at quite dangerous parts of Mexico. Went to the Acapulco and stuff, And people really feared all the time, like where we can go. There were certain rules of like where we can take taxi and things like that. I broke all of those rules. Nothing ever happened to me. So I think mind is powerful too. You know, if you like just feel safe, that most likely will be. It's not like that I'm being stupid and going into danger, but you know, I just think that God has my back.
As a man thinketh in his heart, so he shall be.
Agreed.
Where did this mindset come from? Like, where is this instilled in you as a child through your parents? Did you just like discover this on your own, or?
Probably I'm just a very positive person. Like sometimes I'm like annoyingly positive. Somebody from the Gen Z said that it's toxic positivity.
Don't
I was
listen
like,
to
what
her.
is this now, a new term I have never heard of before? But I think it's just my nature. I've been always like a very positive person, and I believed in that good things are waiting for me, and I was going for them. And as they were happening, I think that encouraged me more to believe in it. I say multiple things at all times. Is one, I can always get a job because I don't feel like I ever interviewed for the thing I didn't get. Same in a school, like back there with like a scholarship and stuff. So I think that's where positivity, but also confidence came from. I believed based on results. Like, as I said, never interviewed for a job I didn't got, never interviewed for a scholarship I didn't get, even for the visa to come to the United States, and then for the green card, and then for the naturalization for USA passport and all of the things. So it gave me a lot of confidence then.
You see that, guys? It's not necessarily what you lack. It's what you lack as far as your belief. If you can think it and you believe it, it can happen. But we forget sometimes that sometimes confidence and results can reinforce that. Well, actually, sometimes the results can reinforce your confidence. So a lot of times you're thinking bad because you're not taking action. And your action is going to reinforce that negative train of thought.
I agree.
Go ahead.
How I opened my restaurant. It's just, I don't think that no other person on earth could do it the way I have done it. And when I say the way I've done it, that means with no money. Like I opened the whole damn business without having any funds to do so. And everybody always asking how and stuff, and I have shared story before, but I literally was building it little by little, found a place that was not attractive, that was not in a good location, that was not destined to be successful, as 30 businesses before me failed at a very same location. Literally 30, within 30 years of, some of them did not last even a year. It's not like every business was there for a year. It was some businesses for just for a couple months, then the next one, couple months, next one. They will be empty for 2 years, then they would put a sign and then it wouldn't even open. So when I found it, it was very cheap because of it. Now my rent is much higher, which I hate. But back then, it was like 6 years ago, it was barely, it was as expensive as to rent an apartment in Chicago. I like my business rent, which is like very unusual. But because of the history of the place, but I believed that I can be different than 30 people before me. So I grabbed it, and it looked so awful. It looked like abandoned hair salon from like 80s. But it had some sort of a restaurant equipment because it was a restaurant before, but on the floors were tiles, literally like in a hair salon, so it's easier to swipe up the hair. So I was like, I have to put some sort of floor before opening and to do things, but because I didn't have money to do any of that, I remember I had a friend who would come and would be fixing my floor, like what he knew, like a handyman. And because I couldn't pay him, and I didn't have any cash available, I would be like paying his phone bill with my credit card, because like I didn't have money to give him, but I had a credit card. So I was like, you know what, like I'll pay your phone bill, electricity bill, like with my credit card. So like you help me like put this together. And then a lot of work that I put in, that my husband was paying, and like, you know, all the things that we have done to pull off like the entire restaurant. And this is like really one of my favorite stories with a health inspection. When they came in to review the place, they asked to see the menu. So on my menu, it says fried cauliflower wings. And then the health inspector says, but you don't have a fryer. Like, how do you have a fried cauliflower wings? And I said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to put a pot on the stove, and we're going to put an oil in the pot, and we'll be frying like that, because I was like, I don't have money to buy a fryer right now. But I was like, if you let me open, I promise the first money that I make, I'm going to go and buy a fryer. And then I asked her, like, is it against the rules? And she said, well, technically it's not against the rules. You're not violating the health code. But she said, it's just very not efficient. Like, I don't know how you can run a restaurant like that. I was like, it's not that I want to run it this way. Like, I just don't have money to do it. So she let me open. She gave me a permit. We opened on Friday. On Monday, I bought a fryer. So literally, like the Friday money was on a bank on Monday, and I went to Restaurant Depot and bought us a fryer. Now we have 6 of them, including separate ones for the gluten-free items. So it's quite and that's how I was buying, you know, equipment by equipment. So like a first year of my business was like me mostly grabbing the money that I'm receiving into building a restaurant that I was supposed to have before I even opened, but like I didn't. So to back on the why we started talking about this, it's all of that came from the belief that I can do it, where like no one else would even dare. I had I can't say a friend, but somebody I knew who had a restaurant, and I wanted to go and hear advices of how I can do it. And when he heard like how much money I have, which is like basically a couple $1,000, like nothing, he was like, don't waste your time. Like he didn't want to even talk to me. So that shows you a lot, like how people were like, it's impossible. And now if you tell somebody like, go and open a restaurant with no money, it does sound impossible. But like I just found a way to do it, so.
No, it's just, I'm grasping so much of your mindset just through the story. So thank you so much for sharing that. And it's just, it's very inspirational for people to know that, because a lot of people think they need so much capital to get something off the ground, when what you really need is belief. And kind of going back into that belief, I want to even dial it back a little bit. So where are you from again?
Montenegro.
Montenegro. That's
correct.
in
Europe.
Oh, this is Europe.
So it's a country. It is a country. So when people ask Montenegro, it's like, which part of which country? I was like, that's a country. Yeah. It's so small. Montenegro is populated less than 1 million people. Like, I think 600,000 right now, around that. So that's like, what? Like quarter of Chicago, one neighborhood in Chicago, like something, you know. So the entire country. So it's really not known. A lot of people never heard of it, which... but still it's there. You know? I meet people and then I see them a minute later, they're on the Google Maps, like typing in Montenegro, and like it pops up and it's so tiny. The closest famous country is Italy. We are across the street, except we are not like rich, or, you know, it's
Wait, Italy's rich?
Well, they have much better standard than us. Oh yeah, compared to us, yeah. Spain, France, all the European countries that people know, you know, England or whatever, Switzerland, Sweden, they're all doing. That's like a real Europe, you know. We are not considered to be. That is why I had a whole conversation on a different podcast about it, because of where I come from when I came to United States. And seeing like how obsessed with race this country is, I was not confident into ever marking, because for the first time in my life I was asked to mark my race, and I couldn't mark white because like where we come from, like we were colonized by Turks for like 500 years. So while the whites were colonizing America, we were being colonizing on another side. So it's like a lot of Europeans don't even count us as white.
Wow.
Yeah, because for them we are like a lower level, you know. Often we are seen in Europe as a cheap labor. Yeah, because a lot of people from Montenegro, from Serbia, even from other countries around Romania, Balkans, like just poor Balkans, we often travel to places for work and often charge way less than their citizens would. So we are kind of often seen as a cheap labor for many countries. I've worked in a lot of different countries, but like one of the jobs that I went knowingly I'm being hired as a cheap labor was in the Middle East. I worked in a Qatar. And I lived
Qatar,
in Doha.
yeah.
I worked for Qatar Airways for the airline. Yeah,
Beautiful airlines.
oh yeah. For the passengers, it's the best, but for the workers, it's like living hell.
Really?
Oh yeah. Doha has so many rules. You you don't get to be free there. It's very
Like the country.
Yeah. It's so regulated, and especially you coming as like outsider just to get to work, you have to get a permit from your employer for everything, like even to sleep outside of your accommodation or to stay past midnight or to leave the country. You can't leave a country without your employer allowing you to do so on literally paper. So as you're exiting the country, there is like basically a border control that will stop you if your employer did not say, hey, yes, he can leave on his 5 days off. So it's
So
kind of
intrusive.
It's very opposite of democracy and freedom and what the things that I stand for. So I've done it for the money, and I wasn't fully happy. Although when I lived there, I found ways to be content, and I knew it was temporary. And I knew I'm going to leave when the opportunity arises, and that's what I've done. Yeah.
What did you do there?
I worked in multiple different positions and stuff. I originally went and was hired as a flight attendant.
Okay.
But then I had a problem, pressure in my ears, like going up and down so much. I still have that. I'm now flying more than a flight attendant. It's crazy. I'm traveling a lot, so I'm always having an issue. Like even in elevator, we are now on 32 floor. When we go back down, I'm gonna feel it. Like it's just there. So I then got grounded and started working in the airport, and I was first working as some just sort of like a check-in agent or whatever. But then I after that, what they considered to be a promotion for me and what I considered to be a hell, they gave me a position on a transfer desk, which basically meant that I was in charge of the passengers who missed the flight or missed the connection or fell asleep or they couldn't find their own gate or something. So it's like nonstop dealing with someone who has a problem. Like it's never dealing with a happy passenger, but basically with an angry passenger. And the reason they thought that I was so amazing for that is because of my nature and how people reacted to me. So I felt like that I'm being punished with that promotion of like, oh, people love you so much, let us place you where people are angry. But you know what? I was good at it. And I actually loved it. And I could, I actually ended up liking it because it was challenging for me to see someone who is approaching and it's yelling, and then like 45 minutes they're in duty free bringing me a chocolates and stuff. It's like, and I think it's just because I genuinely cared, and it showed. And people see, because when you're speaking with a customer service representative, it's like, well, we are very sorry. No, you're not. They could see that I really was, because I was really trying to do something for them and to help them and to find the best possible solution. And I think people could feel that, and then later on, as I said, I would fix their problem, get them on the next flight, and then they would go to duty free, buy me a chocolate, and come back before they leave. So it was a good school for me.
What did you learn?
Well, like, absolute, like customer service and to deal with people. So, because it's so hard to deal with people. Like, it's really, and because that prepared me for working in the United States, because my first job ever was a restaurant job. Like, not that I wanted it or desired it, but I also had no other option but to, that was like immigrant arrived to this country. You know, I was like waiting for my work permit, waiting for my social security number. So everyone was like, well, you can get a job in a restaurant. That's easy, you know. So I was like, I went and I got hired as a host at the door just to show people where the table is. But then I learned how to serve. And I loved it because it was more money because of the tips. Then I also learned how to bartend. Despite like never trying beer in my entire life, I was like able to tell you all about the beers. And I was getting like really good tips as a bartender because there was like conversation. And then it just, my work ethic brought me then to be a floor manager and then a general manager. And then I was like, is this what I do now? Because I almost kind of hated it a little bit because it was never my plan. Like, I really did not choose it. Like, the restaurant life, it chose me. Because when I was a general manager, I was like, what do I do next? Like, it felt like that's it. I get stuck in this role now forever, or I open my own. So, like, I think more of like opening my own was just so I can take the further step. And I also think the second, like, huge reason for it, it probably would not happen without it. It's veganism. I'm a vegan in the meantime. If I didn't do that, I probably then, like, maybe wouldn't even trying to open my own. But just because the place I worked at wasn't vegan, I tried to find actually a job at a vegan restaurant, but I absolutely hated it. It was hell for me. So I knew that if I want to create a special vegan place, like, I would have to do it on my own.
Why was it hell?
It's just my first boss in United States. He was a good man, and although we had disagreements, and I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot what to do, but I also learned a lot what not to do from him. So I'm very grateful for experience. It was somewhere right here. I
think I know.
It was I don't know if it's
Native
open
Foods?
now. No. That was not a vegan place. This was non-vegan place.
Oh, okay.
No, it was called Dylan's Tavern and Grill. I worked there for like 5 years where like I made all of this progress and stuff. And then I went into a vegan restaurant and I was so controlled. Like, there was absolutely no creativity, no freedom. I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. But I'm grateful for that experience too, because I think those are the moments was like, okay, if you want to do it right, like, the only way is to do it on your own. I wanted to do stupid things such as like KaleMyName. People are like, that's so stupid. And I was like, I know, but it's mine and it's creative. And I was singing a song at night I was typing a menu and I was listening to Destiny Child Say My Name, and because I was typing kale Caesar salad, I started singing Kale My Name, and I kept going and it felt so catchy, and I texted my friend and she said the name was so stupid, and I said I love it. I don't care, because like it allows me to be creative. But I honestly think like the name, it's super fun now.
Super catchy.
Exactly. So, and especially with the song, because like I'm now forever be singing Kale My Name. I changed
That's
the lyrics.
a good song.
I know it is good. And you know, I adore, of course, all three of them. But Michelle follows me on Instagram. Of course, follow her.
That's a flex.
I know, right? We chatted a little bit too, which like I love so much. I went to twice to see her. That becomes her Broadway show that she's on right now. It makes it special for me, that place. It's called KaleMyName, and that I named it after a Destiny Child song. So,
and also I feel like she doesn't get the credit she deserves. It kind of split, and like Kelly and Beyonce got more, but Michelle was kind of the outcast. I feel like
I think she is shining, like especially now with this like musical. She's showing all of her talents, because it's not just singing, but it's also acting and dancing and the whole and live. in front of the live audience. So I really think she's getting the flowers now that she deserves, because like it's literally one of the best and most awarded Broadway shows right now. So she's doing just fine.
We like that. Clock that. Man, it's just beautiful hearing the growth. It's like seeing where you came from. But one thing that stood out to me is like your work ethic, because like I'm hearing like you just throw numbers out to 5 years. No. Like a lot of people can't stick with something for 6 months now.
As someone who hires people, I always recommend people to, when they send me a resume, they try to sound very experienced. So they send me that they work 10 jobs within the last 3 years. That's a huge red flag. Don't do that on your resumes. Because I'm like, you can't hold a job. I was someone who loved to like stick to things. And that's exactly what I've done. Like I did work for a long time there, and I wasn't even so confident at that point in my work ethic, because I was an immigrant, and I speak with an accent, that especially back then my English was way worse than it's today, even though I still struggle. In those moments when my boss wanted me to be first floor manager and then later on general manager, there were people who were older than me. There were people who were there longer than me. There were people who are born and raised American, speak English properly. So I felt like that I don't deserve it. But how my boss convinced me is he said, none of them have your work ethic. And then he said, that's why I'm asking you and not them. And that kind of made me, okay, I want to do it. So work ethic is so important.
Where did you get it from? I feel like, can you teach it? Is it in you? Is it?
No, it is. So a lot of things are. First things first. I'm a middle child. I really think that shaped a lot as to who I am as a person today. I have an older brother and I have a younger brother. And I felt as a middle child like I always had to work and fight for the things that I wanted. It was never given to me. I literally watched my parents give everything to the older kid because the first one you love so much, and then the youngest one you want to spoil and love. There is no perks of being a middle child. So I think that started with that. Second, I really don't believe that much in zodiac, but I have so many characteristics of a Virgo. It's crazy. I'm control freak. I'm so organized. Like I want to get things done and in a perfect way. So I think that, and then to the school, I really wanted to have all the best grades, and it was just like important to me. I don't know why. And then later on, work ethic came out of necessity because I knew I have to like get this, like I have to make it work. When I came to this country, my older brother, because my parents exhausted all the funds they had. In one point of our life, my father was doing really, really well, but then he retired and we no longer had money. And people were saying, like in our country, we have that it's the worst curse for a person, it's to have and then does not have after that. Like, because it's, so I was always scared of, of poverty. And when I came over here, my older brother had to borrow money from his friend because he didn't even have money. So for me to come over here to buy a plane ticket and to only have a couple $100 to arrive. So when I started working, like I literally treated job like, like a saint. It's like I have to make this work because like I have no option of failing. I have no option of going back where, I will probably make just more debt for me and my family. And it was just not an option for me. Same with a restaurant. When I opened it, I maxed out my credit cards. I entered in a lot of debt because of it, especially since interest on credit cards are insane. That's not like taking a loan. No one will give me a loan because I don't have any money. So it was really bad. So I knew, like, if I don't make this work, what I'm going to do, just die? Like, I literally was thinking, like, I would just, like, lay down, put a flower on me and buy. Because, like, what the hell? And what is my other option but to proceed with this? So I also think a lot of that work ethic came of the fear. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't have other option. What I'm going to do if this doesn't work? So I had to make it happen.
Back against the wall.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes, like, that is the best way. Somebody once asked me, like, do you think if you had money and if you opened KaleMyName the proper way, I bought all the equipment and had the money and all of it, maybe today wouldn't be there. And I think that's one, because I ended up, like, properly opening one restaurant after that with I entered in a partnership, and we opened it properly. We both had money at that point, so we built beautiful, amazing restaurant from the ground. It was right from the day one, but it didn't survive. Yeah, I was in Los Angeles. I had a restaurant in Los Angeles as well. It was a partnership with amazing, now super dear friend, but at that time, I mean, she is still a celebrity, but for me at that time was like a celebrity, Tabitha Brown. I entered a partnership with her and opened a restaurant in Los Angeles, and it was just giving us headache because they had problems. Like, building had problems where we were at. Hiring people was a problem as well. So we both felt so blessed that we were able to shut it down. Because if I were in a situation where, like, I can't, or if she's a millionaire, so it's like, if she were in a situation with, like, oh, this is so important for us, like, we would have to be going through, like, an absolute hell to make it work. But it was a blessing for both of us to be able to afford to lose so much money. We lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, both of us. But we were like, okay, because I was stressing so much about it. And she told me, honey, if it costs you your mental health, it's too expensive.
Ooh.
And I was like, I agree. We didn't even have to say that what we want to do. It was, look, it was kind of, let's do it. None of us pronounced it to each other. We were more of, it's time. So... but that later in life, once I already had a very successful business that was doing so well and was bringing in money, so I could afford to do that. With my original KaleMyName in Chicago, especially at first, I could not afford to shut it down. I could afford to shut it down now if I want to, because I have different streams of income. Thank God, I do multiple other things. So I'm not cornered anymore. If I were ever to close it, I would be sad, of course, about it, but, like, it would not be a problem. Yeah.
Wow. Why do you think that one didn't work?
Well, the first and the worst problem was the building that was at. Like, we did not have cooperative building or a landlord, and had issues. It had a really, really issues that, I don't want to even talk about it because we went to so much legal stuff there. It was really rough for us to fight it, but we were able to do it because the problems were documented. So we're able to get out of it, even though we had like 5-year lease. We were able to get out of it because of the building, but also, like, it was across the country. And you when you hire people and you're not there, it's kind of hard. I'm blessed that I'm able to do that in Chicago now, but, like, years later, over there at the start, we had wrong people in the wrong positions, on top of the building having issues, which was number one reason. We probably could fight the demons, but we just didn't want to. And again, it was a blessing to be able to say, I don't want to do this. So let's, it doesn't work, let's step back. But also it created a beautiful friendship in between me and my business partner, because at the time we were friends, but we were always so focused on work. Like all the conversation we would have would be around the work. Like now we talk about everything, we laugh, we have so much fun, we like tell things to each other. She's still so much more advanced in the entertainment industry, and I'm kind of into it now. So she gives me beautiful advices and leads me and guides me and helps me so much. So even though restaurant didn't work, it kind of gave me this beautiful friendship out of it. And the other day I was telling her that, and she responded. She said, God used the restaurant to bring us closer together. I know.
So cute.
I know, it's so beautiful.
Wow. No, it's fascinating. Not that happened, but what happened after and the lessons that you learned from that. And it brings me to a good point. Like, do you think that you can mix friendship and business?
Listen, when it's a wonderful person, and it's doable, because I said, for me, it's unheard of that two friends opened the business and that the business failed and then they remain friends. It's unheard of. But listen, Tabitha is an angel on earth. And through all of these problems, I was I was always feeling guilty, because technically that was my business that she came on as a partner to open an LA location. So I always felt for the problems that we were having that it's my fault. She never made me feel guilty. She never made me feel unloved. Through all the problems, she never ever told me one single unkind word. So I honestly give credit to her that we are still friends, because she's so special. I don't know. I know many friends who opened the business and didn't work, but they're not friends anymore. I don't know example of what I'm telling you right now. This is the only one I'm sure exists somewhere, but the one that I'm aware of, and we even became closer after the restaurant closed. So.
Yeah. I look at business relationships as actual relationships. Sometimes people can be in your life, but sometimes they don't have to be in your life in the same capacity. So it's like they can be your partner. They can be, well, I guess family's blood, but they can be a friend. They can be whatever. But it's like, if that doesn't work, then it's like, okay, maybe they're a terrible friend, but they're a great business partner. Or I don't know if that works, but maybe they're not the best business partner. We can be friends, or maybe we can be more than that. But it's just like, sometimes we don't compartmentalize things, and then we end up looking at things black and white. And sometimes you miss out on something that could have been substantial.
But some people are just great. And that's what it is. They're great partners, great business partners, great friends. Just there's greatness in some people. I love that.
It's beautiful.
I have people like that around me. I'm so happy. It makes me really happy.
It's a blessing.
It's a huge blessing. I would not be able to do a lot of those things if they were not placed on my path. Multiple, I spoke about Tabitha, but I have 2-3 other people that were placed on my path as well, and tremendously helped me in doing other things. Again, restaurant was my first business, but now I do so many other things. I have my own show. It's called Kale Crew. It's on Unchained TV.
I saw
it. It was #1 most-watched show.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 2 seasons. Probably going to be doing 3rd season as well. I do my own podcast also. Okay. Extraordinary with Nemanja.
Let me know.
I'm a creative director at Korean Vegan Beauty. I should tell you about Korean Vegan Beauty because your skin is beautiful. So you should you look like you use Korean Vegan Beauty, but you're actually eating kale and plants and stuff. That's really, really good. So I'm a creative director at the Korean Vegan Beauty company founded by Joanne Molinaro, who is also known to the world as a Korean vegan. I'm super passionate about that project that I'm involved in. And now, like most of my time and most things that I do are dedicated to content creation. Like I'm now a full-time content creator.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and it brings great income, often better than businesses. I mean, it's a business itself already. It's like registered as a LLC and all, but it's very profitable because like restaurant work is. I think our highest year ever that we sold in 1 year was like $2 million in a single year.
That's great.
But then like I took home like nothing like compared to like what we sold because there's so much expenses. But in a content creation, it's kind of expenses are so little, like, I have the cool clothes or like, a tripod and like, it's not much, like a good microphone, that's my investment. And then everything else, it's a time. And every time you do post and stuff like platforms like Facebook and YouTube are paying for the views, which is so great. It's a really good money. A lot of people are not focusing, especially on Facebook. So it's a very generous creator fund. When you receive that money, it's almost all profit. Like I don't have to pay out anyone from that money. I didn't have to like pay a rent from that money or like it's all, or when you do a brand deal, which is becoming more and more often for me, it's all the money is for me. Like it's not, I don't have a payroll from my content creation yet, maybe in the future. But as of now, so that's why I say like it's a very profitable business to do. So I love creating content. And I also have so much fun with it.
Yeah?
That's why like I feel like restaurant became a sort of secondary for me because like I love this life more. And I think the reason I'm passionate about my restaurant, it's not because I'm passionate about restaurant industry, because I'm not. I never wanted that. I'm very passionate about veganism. That's what it is. So I think that's why, I push for KaleMyName like so much, just because I want the world to eat plants.
Why is that passion so deep for you?
It's because I love animals so much. I love animals and sometimes it's easier with animals than with humans. And I don't want to say that I love animals more than I love humans because I'm a lover of humanity. I really am. I love people too. But sometimes it's easier with an animal. And also, I am just really sad to what we do to animals. Like we absolutely created a living hell for them. I often quote this quote that I don't know whose quote it is, but it's so amazing. That says that if animals formed an organized religion, the devil would be in a form of human.
Damn.
Because we encage them, we beat them up, we slit their throats with a knife, we shoot them with the bullets in the head, we cut them into parts to turn them into shoes and the belts into bags. We test on them so we can have a beautiful skin and cosmetics, and we do awful things to those innocent living beings that have done nothing to deserve that. And very often to the most peaceful animals, we're not testing on tiger, but on a bunny, and we're not eating lions, but cows. It's often to the most peaceful species that want to make a peace with us, that are such a having loving nature. We absolutely abuse them. So when I learned all of that is when I decided I'm absolutely going vegan. I haven't been vegan my whole life, and it's like one of the when only regret I have as vegan is not doing it sooner. But for me, it came of ignorance, and I think that everyone who is not vegan today, which is 99% of the planet, are not vegan because of lack of information. When I received that information, for me, there was no way that I would be ever able to look back, especially knowing how easy it is nowadays. People will immediately, now whoever listens to this, again, 99% of the planet is not vegan, so they're going to immediately start, so you're saying all indigenous people are wrong and stuff. No, I'm not saying that. Indigenous people hunt to survive. Like, if my life was on a line, man, I would maybe rip off your hand and survivalist mode, when it's on, it's on. And are you and I in a survivalist mode right now, or we have grocery stores?
Be thriving.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no need for us to kill to live. So why would we? That is why, and people are not thinking. They're like, today we were reading comments about plants having feeling. It really infuriated me, because I really don't think, there might be two reasons people are doing that. It's lack of intelligence. And the second is it's the trying to make themselves feel better about knowing that they're doing the wrong thing, but like, carrot feels too. Please, let's not compare carrot and a pig. They're not the same. They're absolutely very different to how they experience consciousness and life. Plants are proven by science to not have pain receptors, which are essential to feel pain. So if you don't have a pain receptor, you cannot feel the pain, which carrot does not have. So even though some plants can be, they're alive and have some sort of life in them, they're not conscious. They don't have brain, they don't have a nervous system, and they don't have, the most importantly, pain receptors. So it's a really stupid comparison, ignorant. And also, for people who care so much about the plants, do you know that veganism and eating plants actually saves more plants than eating animals? Do you know how?
How? Tell me.
Animal gotta eat, and people forget that. So we use 90% of the land that we are using for harvesting, like vegetable and food and stuff. 90% of that goes to feed animals. It does not go to feed humans. And somebody also today in the comments were talking about the soil, also exhausted to feed animals. 90 billion. Do you know that we breed into existence 90 billion animals, and we slaughter them every single year? And we have only 8 billion humans. So imagine, we would solve the world hunger if we did not have to give so much food to a cow to give us only a couple kilos of meat. It's not enough to feed everyone, especially because we need to use so much of a soil, of the planet, of the food to feed an animal, to give us so little meat to compare to how much cow needs to grow into a cow. So eating plants saves plants, literally. So if you're out there and be like, plants have feelings, perfect. If they do, then go vegan so you can hurt less plants. Because so much more is needed. And they'll be like, crop deaths, what about bugs? What about insects? What about a bunny and a squirrels and a snakes? And they would all die less if we did not feed 90 billion animals. So if you care so much about crop casualties and about the plants and stuff and everything, there's absolute solution to that, and it's veganism. And not even talk about, I don't even want to talk about how good for you it is and how healthy it is. Because listen, people will argue about it. There's science. There's so much evidence of plants being so powerful for us. I don't even need science to understand that a dead body will not provide me with the things that, living apple can. And also apple I can just pick up and eat right away. Like an animal, I can't do that. It's because it's not meant for me. So to not even talk about, because there's so much can be said about the health perspective. And I know most of the people, the number one reason people are vegan is health. That says it all. Like, so then why would I even go on that part? I'm trying to explain to people how easy it is to be compassionate. It is very easy. Once you see it from the victim's perspective, then it's such an obvious choice. Because you often think, oh, it is hard because I have to do this and I have to do that. But like, when you think of the victim, then it's very easy. Then it's just very easy. You just say, I'm not going to hurt you, to cause harm, or to contribute to your harm. And then it just becomes super, super easy. I really pray for the better days. We have done some awful things in the past as humanity. Awful. That we all are collectively ashamed of and disgust of. And in disbelief. We can't believe how we treated each other and what we have done to so many groups. You know, I mentioned at the beginning of this that I'm a gay man. Damn, I would be killed, or burned like 100 years ago. So to not talk about women and black people and like everybody one went through in the past, it's just, women couldn't speak. Some countries, they still can't without man's permission. So it's really awful. But a lot of those things made a progress. Not fully, but they made a progress. So I'm hoping for the day where there's going to be a progress for animals as well.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I'm sure the day will come, but it's going to be 100 or 1,000 years. But the same way we are now in shock of humanity, of what we as humans have done in the past, I think that's really future generations will be in the same state of shock to what we're doing to the animals right now. Like literally future generations will be like, humans used to eat animals? Like it's going to be so weird. As it's weird to me right now, it's going to be weird to every 1,000 years from now, because it's really so unnecessary. Like why we're even doing that? Why?
Yeah, it's sometimes society changes and lifestyle changes, but we remain stuck in our ways. So I feel like a lot of it is just people justify it with culture, people justify it with tradition, but we're no longer in survival mode. We're no longer hunters and gatherers. Shout out to the hunters and gatherers who are like in a pygmy village somewhere in Congo. Like y'all still doing it.
Sure, I have no problem. Every time I speak for veganism, I talk to a privileged people. And in this scenario, privilege are I and you and whoever listens to this, I'm sure. Because we have access to so many options. And now, like with all of this liberal movement happening, like everyone is liberal nowadays.
Yeah, everyone.
Except when it comes to veganism. Everyone is against oppression, except when it comes to veganism. Like, so how can you, but do you know why? It's because they don't have to act on it. They can just give words. Because I can be easily, her body, her choice. Let her do whatever she wants. Everyone's so activist when it comes to that. Everyone's so activist when it comes to Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Everyone's so activist when it comes to ICE, immigrants' rights, right? What changes in my life if Black Lives Matter? Nothing. I go home and I sleep the same. What changes if my life it's her body, her choice? Nothing. What changes if my life an immigrant gets a job? Nothing. But what changes in my life when I say animals deserve to live? Then I have to change. Wow. And that is why they're liberals on every possible aspect besides when it requires immediate change. Because how can you be so liberal and then literally eat enslaved, tortured body that never seen the light of the day. How is that? I don't think there's a liberalism without veganism.
Ooh.
How? How? The wise man said it, none of us is free until we're all free. And why exclude the animals there? Because they're not.
That's deep.
And there's absolutely then no liberalism there. And all of these liberals who are still eating meat, I'm sorry to break it down to you, but you're not. And also, like, I think it's a very fake liberalism, again, because I don't then trust you. If you are like, because I can literally be over here with you now and be telling you things, and I can go home and be racist. Like, you understand? But like this, it's proven on my plate right away to where I stand. So that's why I don't trust when you tell me like, oh, I'm a liberal, but then you're eating meat. No, you're not. No, you're not, because you clearly support oppression. And again, nothing changes in my life with immigrant guy. I'm an immigrant myself, but let's say I'm, a white, awful American who is like, and I want to like, oh, immigrants do not get a job. But like, when they do, nothing changes in my life. What changes in my life, again, if I advocate for what liberals else are advocating for? Tell me some of the causes, but all of them. It all comes to words, to writing on threads, to writing on Instagram, to writing on social media. It all comes to words. Even a little bit of an actions. I can go out there with a poster
drive.
or like something, it's so minimal. Like the only actual action to show me how liberal you are, it's 3 times a day on your plate. And not just with food, but also with your shoes and stuff. That's a vegan letter. That's not a real letter. So with everything, with the cosmetics, with soap that I'm using to wash my hands, everything. I'm paying attention to make sure I did not exploit the animals, because I am against oppression. And that's how I show it that I'm for real. But if you're just talking about it and you're really not applying it in action, then I'm like, then I don't trust you. That's why it is. And also the other thing that is becoming so popular right now, I gotta say it, but people are so spiritual. Did you notice that? Did you notice rights and
something
spirituality?
in the air?
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm this, and everybody is into it. And then when you start talking about like a caging of the animals that never see the light of the day and a slaughter of them and they're consuming them, where is spirituality there? Like, there was like Buddhists believe that like the body, like that animals absolutely they have a soul, of course, but they then can transmit into a human later, or humans can transmit and be animals in some form in the future life and stuff. So there was one, I watched this documentary. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how much I believe in this, but from spiritual perspective, the guy went vegan and he said, I'm vegan because I ate my own parents in a form of later on a pig and a cow. So to me also, not only there's no liberalism without veganism, but to me there's no spirituality without veganism either. Because how can you be spiritual and support torture of another being that clearly has a spirit and that deserves so much better? So like, because for me, spirituality, it's like all about, it's like when I say spirit, I think of like something positive and loving and kind. And so how can you embrace all of that? Or like, people do yoga. Yoga is so popular nowadays. I also don't see that, because like yoga comes from the belief of no violence and stuff. Like, so do you realize that slitting knife through somebody else's throat is a violence? So a lot of those things are just really unclear to me how we are there, especially now since we do have information. We have podcasts. We have social media, which is so powerful, and you see all of those footages from the slaughterhouses. There are so many documentaries, but people are still preferring their own taste. Then which it's also so unreasonable because there's so many mock meats now. If like, I didn't stop eating meat because I didn't like it. Like I stopped because I just didn't want to participate in the cruelty. So I was like, then just eat Beyond Burger, and they're like, oh, it's processed. And like, what do you think the dead body is? It is a processed dead body. Like those animals were given hormones and antibiotics and like all types of growth, steroids and stuff. So it's like, how do you think the chicken grows in 30 days from a baby, to like a 10-pound chicken? It's not. So when they say, it's processed, come on, just stop it. Just stop embarrassing yourself right now, because I'm like, I just can't do this.
Do you lose a lot of friends because of that?
Yeah, I don't have. Well, I don't want to say like I have no friends that they are a non-vegan, but I don't have a very close friend that it's non-vegan. I don't. Even my family members are now mostly vegan.
Oh wow!
Yeah, even though they're in Montenegro and stuff, it's like it would be like kind of easier for me because it was for years struggle of me like knowing I love my mom. She's such a great person, like greatest. And I couldn't fathom that someone so beautiful as my mom is would feed on a dead body, Luckily, she is all of those things I'm saying. It's not that, it's just my perception. She really is the greatest. So when I explained it to her, she said, okay, I'm not going to eat animals anymore. So, yeah. But older brother too, she made me so happy for years now, and his wife as well.
Wow.
Younger brother kind of newish to it, so I think he's in some sort of a pescatarian, vegetarian phase. But at least no cow, no pig, no chicken. So it is a huge progress. And all of my close friends are, well, you know why? I also made friends in a vegan spaces in the United States. So all of my close friends are vegan. I don't know. Like it would be very hard for me to live with someone who would not be vegan, because like I'm like, we spoke about spirituality, but I'm more into energy. Like I believe like those are two different things. I'm so like I really really believe into energy, and I know when animal dies, they're in fear. They're in so much torture. They fight. They scream. Those things are so awful. And that fear gets trapped into their fat tissue, into their bodies and stuff. So when you consume that, it projects on you. Many people tell me like, oh, why I'm having anxiety, I don't know, why I'm having a headache. I was like, because you have a dead body inside of you that like died in its most horrifying, anxious situation, and now it's inside of you. There's no way it doesn't project. Energy transfers to the room. It literally, like if I can ruin your night if I want to, trust me.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it, but
I don't want to, okay? But energy, when somebody's so negative and annoying, how many times somebody ruined your day? Like literally. So energy is so powerful that it can transfer from one side of a room to another. Imagine if it's inside of you. Like it doesn't even have to travel. It's inside of you. You consume a piece of somebody else's dead body that was in fear and a horror of the last minute of their life. So it absolutely is trapped inside of you. So when people have anxiety and they don't know like, oh, I'm anxious, I don't know why. It's because that animal inside of you was anxious the moment they died. So in a house, I can't stand that, because I also think like even in my fridge there's a piece of somebody else's body. I don't want that. I don't want that. That body that they moved on, that they played on, that had feelings and thoughts, like, and now it's in my fridge. Like I don't want that in my house. Like I really, really think it's such a bad negative energy. Like I don't want to source like dead bodies. I don't want to be graveyard. Like dead bodies go into graves under the earth. like if you consume dead bodies, they go into you. So you become a graveyard for the dead bodies as well. Like, I don't want to do that. I want to be a garden, I say. I want to be garden for tomatoes and a watermelon and apples and, all the good things. That's a garden. But dead body, it's a grave. And I don't want to be nobody's grave and nobody's devil. Because I'm telling you, if animals had a religion, human would be a devil. And I don't want to be nobody's devil. Do you?
Hell no.
Right? It's enough for me. There's so many good things now that I say, oh, if I was a vegan and I hear that, I'll be vegan tomorrow. Like, it's there because all of those things I did not know before. But now that you know how really devilish we are to animals, you just like very clearly know, I don't want to be nobody's devil. I really don't.
Words are powerful. People like to say, I'm a baddie, or I'm a bad this, or back in the day, I'm so savage. But when you really think about it, it's like, these are not good things.
I don't have opinion on that. I'm a very opinionated person, but that's something I've never thought of. You kind of cut me off. Like,
yeah, but you got me thinking further than that, right? Like, that's true. Like, for somebody else, you could be their devil.
You think I'm an ignorant savage. And you mean
Great movie.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with Pocahontas.
My favorite one is Paint with All the Colors of the...
One of my close friends said that that's not a good song. And listen, the fact that I'm still friends with that person shows how much I compromise in life, okay? It just shows how generous, because that's offensive.
That song,
I adore that song.
Those are fighting words.
Like, it's so good. It's so special. It has so many sentences that are so crucial, and I love that there's a whole movie dedicated to it, because it's somebody who immigrated to America and needed to learn what indigenous people went through, and it makes you so mad. It makes you so...
Yeah, come into America. You say Montenegro very small.
Yeah.
And then Chicago, I don't know if you went to other states, but, just seeing the diversity in America and like the different cultures, how did that resonate on you?
Well, I was introduced to a lot of it through the movies. And I was asking questions like my parents, but my mom would not be able to give me a lot of answers. And it was mostly... I knew so little about indigenous people, very little. I was more educated myself on it. School kind of provided us one short lesson, and that's it. Like, Colombo arrived, and that's it. But when it comes to, we would watch American movies often, and it was movie from the past, and the black people were driving in the back of the bus, and I am 10 years old. And I'm watching a movie with my mom, and I ask questions. And I say, Mom, like, what? I'm so confused as a kid. Because kids are so innocent and sweet. Like, racism is taught for sure. Like, you have to learn to be a racist, because, like, it proves to where we come from. Like, we never have a racist thoughts, because we were not merged. There was one single race there, and that's it. So then you just don't hate anyone because no one told you to hate another person because they're a different race. So I really think it's something that kids learn in America, how to be racist. They learn from the parents, from the neighbors, from the friends and stuff. It's learned. So because I had no one to learn how to be racist at the 10 years old, I was absolutely shocked with the movie. And then I asked my mom questions, and then my mom says, oh, yeah, it's because they're black. And I said, so what? Like, I'm so confused. And my mom says, black people used to be like slaves. Wow. And I said, oh my God, why? Like, why? Where, in my mind, it's everything but just the fact that they were black. I thought it's like some sort of like other thing. Who knows? I'm 10 years old at that point. And then she says, oh, it's just because they were black. And I'm like, what? Like, how? Like, I remember the state of shock, and I remember my mom struggling like to give me the answers. Like we had to pause the movie because she couldn't give me. There's no logical explanation. So it's not like my mom couldn't provide one because there's no one. Like, how you logically explain why someone was a slave because they were black. There's no logical explanation to that. So my mom really struggled, but it like left me in state of shock. And then I purposely wanted to learn more because I was so intrigued by it, such as when I was like so intrigued about what's going on in the damn North Korea. Like I grabbed on to learn how it's possible that, humans are just trapped there without possibility to ever leave. So that's how I wanted to know what was happening with slavery, because I was like so shocked. So I've watched movies. I watched Django. Do you know Django? Do you know that
Django
movie?
Yeah.
So like movies introduced me to America. And then to white America, I was introduced by show Friends. I love that show. That's the whitest thing about me. But I really love that show. It just because like at least like I could learn what it's like a white America looks like. And then from the movies, I learned like what a black America looks like. And then, coming to Chicago and seeing it, at least nowadays, like because I know Chicago has an issue of the kind of borders.
It's so segregated.
Yeah. But, at least there is so much diversity right now. So kind of going into that was like, and I traveled a lot because I worked for the airlines. So I was like visited almost 100 countries.
Oh my God.
I know, right? I want to visit them all. But it was definitely easier for me because I was introduced to it by movies, shows, and things like that before arriving over here. So I kind of was like, oh, I heard that from a movie, or I've seen this in a show, or documentaries and stuff. So because I'm so curious about things I wanted to know. But my biggest confusion and misunderstanding to this day is, and I often talk about this on my own podcast, and I interview guests, and I ask, and I'm still so unsure about how this works. I always wonder, how does black mom prepare their kid for white America?
Wow.
It's like I've never seen that because like I was already grown when I entered over here. So I'm always wondering like what's the first thing that you remember that your mom told you, hey, because you are black, we have to be careful, or we have to, do it a certain way or differently, or we might be discriminated now. Like, how does one mom explain to their kid, hey, you might be hated just because you have a different skin? I still don't know that. And I never received an answer to this question that made me understand what black mom needs to do. And it kind of pains me. Because
that's a good question.
It's fine. That's why I find black women the most extraordinary beings on the planet. Particularly black women.
Why?
Because look at all of this mess that we are living in right now. Only black women were collectively against it. Literally. Like, they're the only voting demographic that, didn't fail us. Everyone else was like, oh, here and there, Latinos failed us, of course. Do not even talk about white people. They are the reason we are in this mess. But so many Latinos who just turned back on their own people. So many black men who turned on their own people. Many Asians, but black women didn't. They're so special. They're so special. We just owe so much to them, and I honestly, I could not imagine my life, but not just my life, but the world without them. I think it would be a very sad place.
It's beautiful.
Aren't they so special?
The most special thing on the planet.
I know. I love them so much. So yeah, that's the kind of cultural difference for me. But there was one unanswered question that I never understood. Like I always like try to put myself in their position. Like if I were to have a kid, like how do you explain to a kid, and like this kid ask questions when you were learning about it, were you asking questions? Did you ever ask whoever was raising you, mom,
Yeah, my
aunt,
mom.
whatever? Did you ever ask, but mom, why?
I did. I would. It's so funny.
And how does mom explain that? Because there's no logical explanation. That's why I say.
Yeah, she would say stuff like, "That's just how they are," or like they just hate us for some reason.
That's so heavy on a kid.
So heavy on the kid, right? And then because I didn't grow up around white people, I would hear this though, but I wouldn't necessarily experience it. I would see it happening though, to like my mom or on TV. But me personally, I didn't experience it, but I would hear it like, oh, they're gonna treat you this way. So the flip side of it is like, I almost developed defense from somebody who wasn't attacking me.
Yeah.
Because like me personally, I didn't experience it, but I would have my guard up just off of what I've heard.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's like the other dynamic people don't talk about is like sometimes, and it's because of that, a mom will tell her son that so that he's prepared for his life. Like you got to tell your son, your black son, when the police are there, you're a black man, don't reach into your pockets. Like you got to tell your son that, but then no one talks about the repercussion that comes with that is like now as a black man, you're on guard even when this is a safe space.
You see, that's rough because, I grew up knowing, like, when I see police that I'm safe. But, black mom needs to explain to their children that they're not safe from the police, which is crazy. It's such a heavy also position to be in. But, that's why they're so special because of what they had to go through. It's definitely different, and there are some things that I love about America, and that's like introducing me to the places and people like that, because as awful as it can get, you can hear 200 different languages on the streets of Chicago, so it's special. I like that too, 'cause like everybody came from somewhere, like the fact that I want to act like they didn't, it's awful. Besides the native, right? That we spoke about it, but
Not the only original.
exactly the OGs, but like what we did to them, it's just so awful. And that's why I always say I'm from Montenegro because we did not participate in that. It's like,
Don't get it twisted.
Literally, because we were occupied at that. Because probably we would if we could, right? But we couldn't because we were occupied ourselves. But no, yeah, just to come and and killed so many people and brought them in diseases and stuff. It just
It's deep.
It really makes you mad. It is. It's hard to think of those things because then you would be in a constant state of anger.
Yeah, no, it's super deep, and like as an immigrant, you see what's happening with the ICE, how they're treating people, and just like how does that resonate with you?
Well, I honestly believe that America is the only country on earth where you can't kill someone in the daylight with so many videos of you killing somebody and not be held responsible. Because I know there are countries out there that are authoritarian states and it's just, who is in power, it's like a king and you speak ill of the king and you die. Seeing that in America is shocking. Because I came here for some sort of freedom, because I was a gay man in a very close-minded country. I said because we were so occupied and all of those things, we're so behind Europe. Even we are physically in Europe, we are so behind with how far they have come on rights of gay people. So I was not safe in my own country.
Really?
No. Yeah, it was
Yeah, what
like,
was it like being, gay and
in Montenegro? Awful. It's just like I grew up like never hearing one single positive word about it. Like why knowing in my mind that like they convinced me that I'm sick and it's like a lot of struggle to go through that. But that was literally because I knew in my mind that that's what I'm dealing with. I always had in mind, I'll just one day when I can, I'll escape far and I'll live far and I'll be free. And that was my dream for most of my, I was aware that I'm gay since I was like 5, 6 years old, even though I couldn't point like what it is, because a kid doesn't understand sexuality. But like I understood that I would watch like a Venezuelan telenovela, which is so funny because now I'm married to a Venezuelan guy.
Okay.
But when I would watch those, I knew I wanted to dance like a Cassandra, like a girl, and I knew I loved how this guy looked at her and stuff. Like 5, 6 year old, like I was already leaning towards male character in a sense that like I wanted to be a female character so I can be hugging Luis Ignacio or whatever his name was. Like, you understand, even as a child. And I knew at such a young age that I can't express that because you would already hear, there are a lot of words that they are describing a gay in a very, like, negative, like, in a very negative way. We have a lot of them. So I knew that that's something ugly and like I knew. So later on when I'm like 13, 14, 15, 16 and I'm like now understanding what a sexuality is too, like, and now I'm like 1000% sure like that it is what it is. That's when I started dreaming of like going somewhere far, like I still didn't understand like how things would work. So as a kid, I was not imagining this, what I have now. I was imagining of escaping, like of literally running away from family and stuff and them never hearing of me because I thought that that was my only path to freedom, to just run far and to never talk to them because like from what I was hearing from the society, it was so bad and so sick that I never could even fathom that my mom and dad one day will be okay with that. So like I knew one day I'm just gonna have to escape and never have a contact with my mom, dad, or brothers or anybody of the family. And then as I was learning more and stuff, I was like, you know what, maybe one day they'll be okay with it. And then I kind of came to America to look for that freedom that I couldn't find at other countries like in Doha. So I knew here would be the best. And then when I did and met my boyfriend, who is now my husband, I got married without telling my parents. It's because I knew that they just, well, at least in that moment, I believe that there's no way that they'll ever come on board with it. And I felt like if I do that, I'm only hurting them. And I really did not want to hurt them. But then the more I grew on this, as I'm so confident when I'm speaking about animal rights, like I know I'm right. Like there's no way that anyone can convince me out there that like killing innocent soul, it's okay. So that's how I knew like me being gay, it's not doing any harm to anyone. And I know it's not a disease, it's not a sickness. The God is not ashamed of me. God loves me. And I'm exactly how God intended me to be and how he created me. So when I finally understood all of those things, I think more of me wanted to tell them and to be like, oh, well, if you have a problem with it, then bye. Which kind of ended up happening. I got married, I didn't tell them, but then I really wanted them to come to America because I started making money. And my parents did support me throughout the life, so I kind of wanted them to enjoy a little bit of that and that I can show them to the world. And I invited them to come so we can travel to Chicago, New York, Miami, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, all. But I was married and I lived with somebody who they believed was my roommate. So,
You still didn't tell them?
No, they know. They love him like more than anyone else. I have two brothers. They're both straight. They both have wives, and I think my parents prefer my husband. They love him so much, but it was rough at that first second. I invited them, and I said, I will buy your tickets and all. I'll like trip on me, with all the activities that we're gonna do. But there's something that you need to know. And Julian, it's not a roommate. And not only that he's not a roommate, that is like a boyfriend, but I'm already married to him. It's my husband.
Surprise.
So a lot of silence, and like I knew Mom would cry. So I was like, okay, if you want to be crying now, just like leave me. So like we can talk some other time. And then a couple days later, we spoke already the next day, but we did not mention this. Like it didn't happen. And then a couple days later, she asked me, what dates are you planning to buy our tickets? Then they came and met Julian and fell in love with him, Like my husband's a dentist, he's like a doctor, so it's like they loved that.
That's why you got perfect teeth.
Like, he is, so do you.
Thank you.
I need a lot of help for mine, but anyway, my parents loved him, my husband is so sweet, and it's easy to love him. Like once you get to know him, it's almost impossible not to love him. So my mom and dad truly like just embrace him as like part of the family. And I think that was also very helpful, that the way that he was, it made it a little bit easier for me, which does make me sad in a sense. Like it's beautiful, but also like make me sad, like not everyone has that. Not everyone even has someone, because I think most of the gay people who escaped from Montenegro, they ended up coming out to their families once they were in happy relationships, because that gave them safety. That's how I felt, because I knew if my mom and dad tell me, oh, we don't love you anymore, that I'll lay down on my husband's arms, and he's gonna hug me and we're gonna cry, and I'll be okay because I have someone who does love me. So I think it's very hard for kids or even adults out there who don't have that experience, or like didn't reach that level yet, or maybe don't even want to be in a relationship. It doesn't matter, but I think it's much harder than I had it. And also because my husband is so lovable, it's also made it easier for me, which it's not everybody's case. Because I do always ask myself, I don't want to think about it because it makes me sad, but I sometimes wonder, would they still be okay with it if he wasn't this amazing, and if he wasn't, this super handsome, educated doctor, it's definitely like painful topic, because it's a years of hiding and of just living living. I did not grow up being myself, and that like it's sad, because I'm finally myself now, and I think that's why all this content, it's like doing so well for me, because like I'm for the very first time in my life really and fully free. And I haven't been, even when I came out, I was still ashamed of it. There was still part of me who was not like fully comfortable with like talking on camera about being gay. Even though I came out, I said to the world, I still was holding back on just creating a skit on a social media where I'm like flamboyant gay. Like I wasn't comfortable with it. Because that's why these skits of me playing straight are so funny, because so that was me. I literally played my entire life. I had to sit like this, I had to be like, to move my hand like this, and then to tell you, bro, it's just not who I am, and that I'm so good at it because
you're so
it was
good
a
at it.
role that I was playing like for 30 years. I knew how to walk differently. But it was all unnatural. You know, when people tell me like, oh, there was because that one video, damn, exploded like this insane million of views. Like that's over 30,000 comments. So
Jeez.
a lot of these people, oh, this is proof. Straight's only an act or gay's only an act. And I said like, no, it's just like how I'm naturally, how I feel that I don't have to put, like I'm so me right now. I don't have to put on. And honestly, that happened way later after coming out. It's not like, oh, I came out and now like a snap. I was still uncomfortable. I was still kind of ashamed to fully talk about it, and would never make a skit like that. And then I created multiple friendships over here in the United States, and some of them sadly did not last, which was also new and weird for me because like in Montenegro, I have like multiple friends that I'm still friends with that we grew up together. This year, I'll be celebrating 30 years of friendship. We're going on a three of us group trip to Greece.
Come on.
To Santorini to celebrate 30 years of literally like BFFs, you know. So I entered very naively in America to believe that every friendship I make, it's a lifetime. Because for me, friendships are unbreakable. I thought like, oh, relationship breaks, marriages breaks, but friendships don't. Because I am mostly really still friends with people I was friends when I was a kid. You know, at least the close ones. You know, I'm still friendly with others if I see them, but like the one I was close with, I'm still close with. Even though we live in two different parts of the world, there's a group chat that is alive daily. You know, and last year we celebrated 29 years of friendship. This September we're celebrating 30. So I believe that every friendship is a lifetime. So when I came to America, that hurt me. Because I learned that that's not the case, that friends come and go. But I also learned how to be okay with it. But there was this one friend that particularly hurt me so much. It's just because I felt like I've given so much to that friendship. It's like the really person I supported so much and loved so much, and gave more than to others. Of myself, of my time, of pouring into them to make them more successful, and like I really grabbed on to that friendship, and I cannot believe that, you know, that's not existent right now, and it's just one day, literally out of nowhere, is I am getting closer to the God, and you know, it's just not what God approves of, and it's bye-bye.
What?
So
because of your sexuality?
Yeah. So it wasn't first very clear to me, but then how like it expanded, and they did it to other gay friends they had, and then they actually spoke about it somewhere on some of, was it podcast, was it something about how it's like devil's work, basically. How it's like, oh, you have to protect your ears and your eyes because devil is planting the seeds. Like, oh, you watch a music video and there's lesbian scene and you're not thinking about it, but that's a devil planting a seed in you. And I was like, oh, like now I understand where all of this comes from. So it went to that deep side of a religion when it's a cult, when it's no longer a god, but it's like literally a cult. And listen, it hurt me so badly. It hurt me I could not recover for like months. I had three friends who were supporting me through this. I'm so grateful for the three of them because like I wasn't able to let it go. Like I was still sending messages and still, because I was so like hurt by it that I really didn't want it to be true. So I kind of tried to hold on that, and like one of my friends literally like grabbed me from my hands and said, "You have to let him go." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I will." But it was just so hard for me because like I love the person so much. It's like, you know, I like was 1,000% into that friendship, but because of it, it empowered me to be who I am. finally and for real. Because I think I never wanted that to happen to me again. And I never wanted to be straight looking enough to not make you uncomfortable. Like, you understand? So I was like, I'm now fully going to express, if I want to do this, I'm going to be damn doing this. I was like, my parents took me to psychiatrists when I was a kid because I was doing this and I had no hair. If I want to do that, I'll be doing that because it comes naturally to me. It's just how I am. And before, I would always like, oh, no, I'm gay, but I would tone it down to not make you uncomfortable. And right now, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to always be my full self. And if you are uncomfortable, good, because I want you to leave right away rather than having me invest 4 years of friendship, like, and pour so much into you just for you to be like, you know what? I'm now a little bit closer to the God than when I was. And it was like, oh, pursuing friendship with a God means I cannot pursue friendship with you. So I'm like, oh, okay. So in all the bad things, like, something good happens. And I think that's where it came, my freedom and my empowerment of who I am, like, to be myself. And now that I've been doing this for like it's not even full year. I think I started last May of going fully into content creation and embracing of who I was. And it was literally the first video ever that I created that that the joke was about me, how I'm in a restaurant was when things break, I'm not trying to fix them, but I'm more it's that's my natural self-gay reaction. And that video got 10 million views. Damn. And I was like, you see, people love me for who I am. Why was I hiding this for so many years? And then I just embraced it. So in May will be a year how I started doing content of that type. I tripled my following and 200 million views a month. So people love to see it. And I'm happy about it, and it also brings me money. So I'm cashing on my own personality, which is that turns out to be my superpower, what I was hiding for 30 plus years. I know.
Here you are.
And I'm loving it.
I can feel it. You've really found your peace.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, man, a lot of people, they struggle with that. And not even just their sexuality. Their piece might be the desire to fit in. Their piece might be their desire to look a certain way or speak a certain language. And I'm not a guru, you're not a guru, but what advice would you have for people, especially trying to make it on social media, seeing how far you've come? What advice would you have for them to in 2026 to really get there if they really want it?
Listen, I hate giving people advices, but honestly, and this is gonna sound so cheesy right now.
Say it.
But it is because I've heard it so many times before, but I actually never really applied it. When people was oh, the most important thing for content and for things and stuff, be yourself, right? So I never really applied it. I knew it theoretically, but it never happened in a practice. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. And I think it happens a lot, as you said, not just for the gay people, but also all type of people who try to sound differently, to speak differently so they can fit in, or to look differently, or to have their hair differently. You would probably be with hair that you have today, maybe not even 20 years ago, a year ago.
Shit now.
It's getting better, isn't it? like a crown act is in full speed now, isn't it? But like, you know, to not be able to like walk in your graduation or like things like that. So I think it's just in general, people try to conform, and I think the best that they can do for themselves is turn their real self and their uniqueness into the superpower. That literally is their superpower. There was that quote, like, no one else is you and that's your superpower. It is so true. It is so true. So that is kind of, you know, my piece of a cheesy advice. It's to be free, because help me.
Why is freedom so important? I've seen that motif throughout this whole podcast. Freedom.
Because it brings happiness. It brings happiness. There was this quote in my language. Let me try to translate that in English. Okay. I'm gonna first say it in my language, okay? So I can make sure I'm translating this. It said, Slobodo, sa tobom je ništa sve, a bez tebe je sve ništa. Which means, freedom, with you, nothing is everything, but without you, everything is nothing. Like, you can have all the goals of the world. If you are not free, it's nothing. It's worth nothing, because you are. But even if you have absolutely nothing, but you are free, you can build it on your own. So freedom is so much. It's happiness. Like, it's not possible to be happy without freedom. It's absolutely everything. So till I die, I advocated freedom for all. For all.
Freedom till it's all free.
Listen, none of us are free. It's so damn true. It's such a good quote, because it's incredible. We definitely need to. Now we hold the responsibility towards less fortunate ones, especially us that come from marginalized groups, because we know what oppression is. We know it better than the people who never experienced it. Women, they come from marginalized groups still. Many countries, people are gay people, people of color, all. So I think now that we got what other people were fighting for, we owe to fight for the future generations to come, and for the other beings as well, not just humans. You know, because like we're all animals. I'm an animal, you're an animal. So just not for human animals, but for animals, meaning everyone. It's gonna come one day. It's gonna be such a beautiful day. And I don't know if I'm gonna be alive to see it. But hey, maybe this video will be so people can watch and be like, you see, this is the day that Nima was talking about.
Mark this day. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This is powerful.
Oh,
Thanks for sharing.
of course. Thank you, friend. That's so much fun.
This was amazing, man. Wow. Before we wrap up, how can we reach you on socials, and what final words?
Yes, well, you know, as you said, KaleMyName. I'm on all social media: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. KaleMyName, like say my name, but KaleMyName. That is how you can find me. And you can watch my show on Unchained TV, which you should, and you can watch my podcast on my YouTube channel and Spotify and Apple and everywhere the podcasts are. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir. Thank you for having me. I had such a great time.
It's been my pleasure. This has been amazing, man. I just learned so much. You got me rethinking stuff too.
I love that. Hopefully, one thing I would love if like I inspire you to do, it's to do a little bit more of activism, and to speak a little bit more for everyone, but including the animals, because again, most people just focus on health. I would love to inspire you to be more vocal for their lives and their well-beings, because I think it's needed. I don't think enough people are doing it. And I think people who are like you and who look like you, it carries more weight, because again, you do come from marginalized group. So I think that your word carries more power than all of these white activists that we are seeing that they're doing it. But I don't think it has that much effect as someone like you would do it. So I try to inspire my friends to be doing more of it, because it can turn into something really beautiful. Cut!
Cut. As always, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Stay breathing in that good ass consciousness. And most importantly,